EG, they're back to their winning ways, and I'm joined by their coach, Potter. Now, Potter, a lot of teams have struggled against Loud in this lower bracket, so why do you think that you guys were able to come out and get the upper hand straight away?
It's got to be the individual decision making. You know, yesterday we were a little slow to being decisive to all the info we got, but if you listen to the comms from these guys, we've got every I dotted and every T crossed right now. So I know that first map was a little slow, but we're warming up into it. I think with our comms, we're just a better team right now.
And very quickly, do you have anything to say to the fans? They are so loud today. They all came out here cheering for EG.
They really did. I feel the energy. You know, not all the seats are filled, but it seems that way. I don't even have words. It's been definitely a dream year for us, and yeah, hopefully we keep going on.
I believe. Thank you very much, Potter, and good luck in the next match.
Potter says it's a dream. Well, it feels like a dream season for this EG lineup who just picked up their first map win on Ascent here. But it was a tight one because Loud nearly pulled that one away. Of course, Golden Boy here alongside with Mimi. You got Mel as well as Achilleos. And you know what? Let's just jump right into this, shall we? Because what a game that was. A treat for most definitely. And I think what's even cooler about it, too, is just you get to see these two squads really approach this map their way. And even though we're mirror compositions, I really felt like we were seeing some ingenuity on both sides here as we take a look at the breakdown.
Yeah, it comes down to overtime in the end, and I thought that EG had such an excellent attack side half. Their calling was excellent there, and they started strong on defense as well, winning the pistol round. Yeah. But Loud really rallied. I think they had some good ideas on how to contend with EG, and it didn't nearly slip away from them, but it comes down to big step-ups from players like Demon One and Jojimo in overtime to close that out.
And that's what we were talking about beforehand. It cannot just be calm here, like what we saw from Ascent yesterday. We need to see Demon One deliver on those entries. We need to see other people clutching up, and we did see that this game delivered the clutches from EG, like Ethan 1v3, the insane mid-rounding from both teams, and the lack of hesitation, especially in the calling, especially later on in the attack half from Boostio, when they're just simplifying, they're keeping it simple, they're just going to end into an A-split, they aren't overcooking, even when they get Omen Blind installed, they believe in their read that there's only two there, and it honestly pays off, and these rounds are so hectic and insane, and the fundamentals from both teams, you see Calm trying his best to stay alive here, and I think he actually ends up overextending, but the retake from EG and the trust from Calm to be able to be like, okay, you know what, we're in a 4v5, but I still trust my team to be able to go into this retake.
Yeah, I mean, Ethan being able to step up here was something that was a very big breath of fresh air because he was another player that was very lacking on that Ascent map just yesterday. Huge performance from him, big clutches coming through to just kind of continue to plow onward here for the side of EG. Even though Loud was nipping at their heels, they forced them into that OT. They were able to just put their feet down and say, okay, no resets, 14-12, we're good.
Yeah, I respect that.
And mentioning players who needed to step up, I think Demon One was really the biggest example of that one. On their attack side, constantly getting those entries to set up Boostio to call these excellent mid-rounds was pivotal. He had a great map here, and you compare that to Ascent yesterday against Paper X, where this guy was really struggling. I think his performance was critical for EG to close this out, especially since against an Osboss, who's normally excellent on Ascent. He had a bit of a slow start, but he really warmed up into that second half.
And it was like I was saying, I really wanted to see that off, and we actually saw Demon picking up the off on attack, which is like I just wasn't expecting. And it's honestly, in my eyes, this is a steal. In my eyes, I thought Loud was going to take this. I know we were discussing it, but you thought otherwise. And I feel like in my head, EG, you're going to this like, okay, Loud were expecting to take that. They're very confident on Ascent, and they should be feeling great going into this next map. EG should.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things that I saw from EG here was that when they got an advantage early on, they didn't really let it slip through their fingers. Very few 4v5 conversions from the side of Loud compared to even EG. So even when Loud was finding those first kills, because as we saw, they got 15. They had the majority of them. This was about a 33% conversion for the side of EG. So even if they did lose somebody early, they were able to drag that round back into their favor with just excellent calling and team play.
I think how they deal with their late rounds is really excellent. You already mentioned how good Ethan was in the clutch, but Calm as well, beyond what he does in the clutch, I think he's the most proactive player in those moments. He has a ton of cross-map darts to support his teammates to stop either flood retakes or to help his teammate get into the site. And also, at the very end of rounds, in those late rounds, he's the guy flanking, making the play to shut down Loud's post plants, which is so critical on these Ascent maps.
Yeah, it's quite scary how it feels like Calm at any point in time just has an understanding of where his opponents are going to be on the map, and that information cannot be stressed enough, like how valuable that is. I think was Crashies in the American season was really praised for that info gathering. And I think Com, just having that mindset that he has, and also the way that he's been approaching his particular role, unbelievable stuff. This is literally what you would want to see from an initiator trying to punch a ticket to the grand finals.
And remember Com's story. This is the guy who at the beginning of Americas was really, really heavily criticized by fellow players, by the public. Everyone was saying that he should be dropped, that BCJ should come back into the roster. But then he got so much better in Americas. He stepped up at Tokyo, and now I think he's hitting the best form of his career here in the Champions playoffs, where it matters the most.
Hell of a time to peak. Indeed it is. But for now, though, let's actually hear what Coach Fraud had to say going into map 2.
That was a very close map for Loud as well. I'm joined by their coach, Fraud, here. Now, Fraud, EG, you guys, you know each other very, very well, especially on the map like Ascent. But was there anything that they did that surprised you, perhaps, maybe you overlooked, that you think that you guys can tackle and fix for map 2?
Not too much. We're obviously familiar with their play style. I think maybe a couple times they caught us off guard with some like fakes, double fakes, going a little bit slower than they normally do. So I think that was more on us, just not playing the situations as optimal. Maybe, you know, we got to play inside the bomb sites, not play retake so late, hold on to utility a little bit more. So just things that we got to improve to make sure that we can beat them the next games.
Well, thank you very much for your insight and best of luck for the rest of the series.
Incredible to think how all of this, when you actually break it down, is coming down to a few minor details. Now, as a pro player, you've been in this situation before. It's stressful to know. It's like, if I just held on to that piece of utility a little bit longer, or if I had, you know, moved over here rather than going over there, like all these little things you can kind of beat yourself up about. So it's very important that this team is prepared as they get ready for map 2.
And we hear it a lot in the post-match conferences where it's like the coach is like, oh no, it's just these small details. And at this level, at this deep as well into the Champions playoffs, it really is the smallest of details. And really, we're talking about Demon 1, we're talking about Com, but really, I was looking towards Jojimo. I feel like he's going to heat up here because he had some pivotal rounds in OT.
Well, Askin, you shall receive, because the jog is going to be on some rays, and I think, you know, getting Aspas, Jogamo, a little 1v1 action between them is always going to be exciting, of course, as we go into this Prime Gaming Agent Select for Lotus. And, you know, it's the philosophy here that we're seeing here, the philosophical differences between the two teams as we get ready for this map.
Yeah, I mean, Currency's just going to be sticking to that phase, but we see Evil Geniuses sticking with the composition that they brought out versus DRX, because they've only played Lotus once here at Champions, played it multiple times in the past, don't have a quite winning record on this map. It's about 43% win rate, but they still looked very dominant versus DRX, a 13-4 at the end of that.
It absolutely did, and as well on this map, I think the Raze head-to-head is going to be excellent between Jojimo and Aspas. They're both so good on that agent.
Couldn't agree more, Mimi. This is going to be a best of 5 that could very well go to distance. So for now, let's send it back over to your casters. Here's Brent and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, firm focus being placed again on the pistol rounds. Feel like a broken record when I'm talking about it, but it has been one of the things that's paving both of these teams in terms of their success. That previous map that we saw, you know, even in the gun rounds, they were really just neck and neck, and we saw how close that Ascent map 1 really was. And now we're heading into Lotus. Change of pace this time. This is Loud's territory. They ended up picking into this map here, but you got to be ready for all sorts of trap plays. EG, we know they like to take fast mountain control on their attack side. That's where they're going to be starting.
Definitely an area of the map to pay attention to. Fraud was talking about holding more towards the sites, holding onto utility. We'll see if they want to contest these areas of the map whatsoever.
Yeah, rinse and repeat from the last time they played Lotus. Low down flash gets them early control towards C.
But not much of a response from Loud.
No, ready to just absorb it, really.
Yeah, quite happy for EG to just take that control.
We say that less. Definitely getting cheeky with it here. The backside control is going to be gained. Granted now to EG. Got to deal with a lot of this utility. Follow the bullet traces and you will be rewarded. Prowlers round the side. Sadak, oh my God, he's missing with it. But okay, team got his back, and now they seek to try and pivot into B. Pulled the player rotations away. Should be a free side for them, and it is. Ethan getting the plant online, but they have a massive player disadvantage. Maybe that's good enough, though. Something to even it out. Maybe a fake flash as well. Ethan was hunting for it.
Ethan's just utility dumping these 3 players that are trying to retake through the BC connector. Meanwhile, EG have managed to maintain control over Heaven.
Yeah, no clean shots, no clean fights. Orbs in their face, the decay damage kicking in.
And here comes Les.
It's a 2v3.
They've heard him.
They finally have taken control of Heaven. Les has cleared this one out, but again, time working against him. You can start to hear it tick. It's a wide phase. No way! Demon 1 eviscerates them!
One of the most impressive things about watching Demon 1 is that he's able to perform no matter what agent he's playing. The pure gun skill is on display all the time. When you put a weapon in his hand like this Ghost, it just suits his tapping aim style so well. You've got to respect his composure in big moments. I think that's what separated him from a lot of the other rookies that we've seen who have up and down performances on the big stage. For Demon 1 at this event in particular, the composure is just always there in those big moments.
Yeah, he's been rising to the occasion.
You never see him just panicked, crouch spraying in a corner. No. He's always taking his time with every shot, making sure his mechanics matter.
Yeah, it's a level of confidence that really only belongs to the youth before they get humbled. He hasn't had that just yet. In his mind, he firmly does believe that he's the best player in the world, and they seek to prove it in this match here, already leading one map. Back-to-back grand finals for this team would be outstanding.
Trying to funnel the ult orbs right now into Jorgamo, who's running around with an Ares in hand.
Here it is, a big stack of the Loud players here. It's freed by EG. They're still committing into this one, but picking them apart again, just walking right into the smoke. Where do you get that level of confidence from? Jorgamo, no concerns, not worried. 145 with the follow-up. Les taking out Demon 1, but now I know exactly where he is with the spike planted down.
Heal comes through as well. I believe Demon 1 had a weapon that EG will be wanting to try and recover. So that battle is where Les could try and inflict him some damage.
Yeah, just wants to punish when they go to pick it up and reclaim it. Yeah, well, Boostio, usually pretty sharp with a sheriff aim. Putting on a bit of a performance for us. So 2 rounds leading for EG. Good beginning. Will be even better if they get the bonus online for them.
One of the most bizarre facts about this map for Loud is that there have only, Fnatic have only ever lost Lotus to Loud. And yet, 2 out of 3 of Loud's wins on this map are to Fnatic. They can't win against other teams. So that to me is one of the biggest questions here, is the plan that Loud have brought in, this change of composition with the Raze and the Fade, is it going to work against EG? Loud love using this slightly varied version of the Viper Wall. Not many other teams running the one that Sadak does, that goes from B over towards C, instead of helping to defend the door. That's going to apply extra pressure to these EG players as they try and get in on the west side of the map.
Util was sent soaring, but there was no follow-up from it. I mean, Sadak still has energy in the orb. Stops them being able to push through here. Rotation of the door, making sure that they can fake presence, but it's only Com who's sitting there. 50 seconds remaining. Looks like the goal is these orbs. So Jorgamo's 1 away now from the showstopper.
Yeah, Com's just been defending it for Jorgamo the entire time. The Ares is not particularly going to matter when Jorgamo is bursting into the site.
Doesn't have any satchels, though.
Still going to be scary.
Yeah. And so lets it loose. Fuse dipping down. Haunt as well. No collection of the kills, really. Nobody wants to face him. They have given him complete control. Open up the site. Prime for the taking here. That's what the plan going down. And there's a fight to be taken. Over towards Rubble. That was an important one. Will come falling. Really just applying that extra level and element of pressure. There's a flank attempt as well. The C's connecting. Jorgen was still seeking to hold on to this, but now up towards Heaven. Demon 1. See what he can do. Trying to lock it down, but it's only got the Guardian. He can't really let it spray and pray. And with the taps, yep, not able to hit it onto the mark that he was looking for. It was Sadak. There's a fight being taken across the board. Look at the movement. It's all over the place still. Jorgamo claims an upgrade. Control of B main. Still there's for him inside the smoke, though, placed in his face. It leaves it just up to him. And all you got to do is spray those common angles. You knew exactly where he was prior.
EG with a nice idea, though. Utilizing their ults to be able to get into the B site. And they had Ethan's utility to try and set up for a pinch onto A. Cowanzine was under quite a bit of pressure in that spot. Trailblazer in his face, and yet 2Es came to try and help out. Tweez and Quarantine did not have the greatest performances on Ascent. These less experienced players have been awesome in their moments throughout the year. They've really found their times to step up, but they have been arguably a little less consistent than the other players on Loud. Good to see them working together and getting straight back into this series. Loud are going to put a focus on shutting down Rubble Control.
Look at that, send it flying. Paint shells, Haunt. Wouldn't have actually spotted as well with that smoke in the way, but it's enough that you have to respect it. G. Initial moves over towards B main.
The alarm bot got broken there, and Nana Swarm thrown out by Boostio clears that out. Now it looks like they're trying to do something similar on the other side of the map, over towards C. You know, Jogamo with one blast pack here can get rid of both of these Nana Swarms. How are you going to defend the C site? They talked about going for retakes less. That was what Frod was mentioning. Pretty impossible though with a lockdown in your face.
Yep. And onto the final moment, he noted there was a gap there into the corner, so just spamming it out there. Boostio inside the smoke. That is dangerous, Sadak. You're playing at Sun. It is a bit messy here. There's no spike plan. It was spammed down. Player advantage now over towards Loud, and they've got them contained, isolated still. There's another flank attempt by Com. It looks like they're just trying to buy time for him to wrap all the way around onto the flank.
No, they're leaving. I mean, the spike is going all the way towards A. Jogamo was left as a piece of bait on the C site. There's 20 seconds left, and EG are sprinting over towards the A.
That is a marathon sprint. You're going to have to get a move on.
And Boostio has split, looking to try and make the play that will win the round. You've got to go for something in a 3v5. You can't just play a standard post plan.
Loud are playing this one safe. Stick together, all four of them grouped up now, starting to run their way through here. Cosmic Divide. Have an obstacle in their face here. And there is that time pressure, honestly. The longer they take, the worse it's going to get for them. Demon
Boostio has found an amazing timing.
Boostio around towards the back. Sadak, he meets him. But there is still that danger there. Got to imagine Com locking down the connector. One more kill to be found here. Tap onto the diffuser, trying to force out that utility of Demon 1. I believe there was a pull online for him, so it would have dissuade it, push them back and away. Still, the utils being sent flying on either side, and that ever so slight angle adjustment. They just want to force the fight right to him. Time! All ticket down, half already gained. It's enough.
You can see the panic, sense it within Loud camp, throwing themselves onto the diffuse. And a couple extra kills there for Com towards the end. Loud managed to stabilize eventually. Tweez knew that he had to get half, but Les also just tosses his body onto the pyre. Yeah. That's a huge one for Loud to win, though. It knocks down EG's economy.
There's a massive one.
And EG had also used a bunch of big ultimates there. You know, the showstopper in a couple of rounds prior, but then also locked down these big offensive tools to try and take space. Removed from the EG arsenal.
The waves now of utility. It's the Prowler and a Boombot initially, but now they've set up control of this one, and here's the second wave from EG. They waited it out. It is perfect! Snake by Nanoswarm, Pain Shells, there is nowhere to run. Attempt to pick up the gun, but denied for now. Still, Loud realize they have to give up that space.
Beautiful reclear from EG. I mean, that utility was fantastic. Put them in a 5v4. Might be winnable. With the two rifles in hand for Demon 1 and Jogamo. Dangerous players. We're watching Les, who's just tucked in front of his alarm bot there.
A very interesting position. There's no control of Mad. I mean, if they ended up re-exploring there, he would be out in the open, but we know that's not the case.
I think it's just so unlikely that EG would call a C push and open the door in this spot. But the Trailblazer is going to put Les in a really dodgy position.
Snakebite doesn't rebound. Flash as well. Can't quite get deaded. He gets caught. He is in a potential bit of danger. They're really pivoting into the B side now, trying to get that squeeze. I love the smoke, though. 2 years. Gives him into play around as well, so Les can still survive the satchels as well. I mean, EG just cannot clear this guy out of this spot, this position. They are trying their hardest. Dodging, juking, weaving to the sides. Eventually, he will be brought down. So, Plant, online, Demon 1, his job, win that fight out, and he does do. Just that here, still flooding in, Loud. Don't want to give up this space, not for free. Still inside the smoke. Tucked to the side here, and Demon 1 still has the pull as well. He's playing for his life.
What a round!
His fight.
What a round by EG. I was worried when Ethan missed his second flash in 5 rounds, but the rest of them played patiently, and Loud are a little slow and a little scared to get back into sites. They're not playing flood retakes. They're not trying to go and help less. There was no utility thrown to help, no use of him as a distraction. Instead, EG were just allowed to methodically take control of the site, get the plant, and have 2 players with rifles in post plants.
All of that with really not much of an investment.
No, and now it's Loud. The economy flipped. Them on an eco. It definitely felt like Loud were in control. Had they won round 5, they would have had good ultimates to work with, good economy to work with. They would have felt like they were in control of this half. And now it's back and forth. EG looking like they're in the ascendancy. In control of the tempo. Loud, though, still allowed to maintain rubble control.
Yeah, they haven't been pushed away from that. And I wonder if it's going to be biting EG. They want to go into this round with a bit of caution because Asfast has got the showstopper. It's an eco buy. You never know. It might just be stacking a site. You don't want to be walking into it. But just down the minute mark. Are they going to seek to try and push away that space? 2 years. He might just disrespect them. Danger lurking on every single front, and yep. He attempted. That's a season nade. Oh my. Okay. That was the connection, but no kill. The rest of EG now starting to walk their way forwards. Walls up. Sadak laying down a snake. Buys the damage. Barely being done surely enough for the kill. It's just so unusual. There's a flash to set it up around the corner.
How's he got 2 there?
I mean, that is just absolute magician level plays. Forget rabbits, I'm talking about kills. 2 years. Jorgamo again. This is absurd, man.
He was almost on for the ace towards the end until denied by Boostio. What an outplay of Sadak's wall. I was talking about it earlier. Loud are one of the only teams that throws this wall that goes B to C. And Jorgamo managed to get up on the... kind of dancing around it. Look how he's positioned, waiting for the flash from Ethan, and throws an underhand nade to catch Sadak, who would be lurking by.
Yeah, we did that one.
What an awesome idea and perfect execution. It looks like he's as confused as we were that worked.
It forces the timeout out allowed because it is pushing him in uncomfortable territory. So only 4-2 so far on this map, but already you're a map down. Yes, it's a best of 5, plenty more action left to come, but you kept the dream alive of trying to defend your chance at a championship title by besting Fnatic the other day, but now you are up against the scrappy upstarts from your own region of Americas, EG.
Quite.
They've got so much to prove here, determined to do it.
This is a domestic rematch for the chance to face Paper X in the grand final. No matter which way it goes, our grand finals is going to be Americas versus Pacific. The question is just who? The Americas #1 seed, #3 seed, it says up at the top, but it was Loud that won domestically over there. And now playing in LA, looking to try and make it.
This could be a bloodbath. I'm seeing 2 showstoppers online. I'm seeing the Razors facing each other.
Yeah, that's the thing. These rounds have actually bought time for EG to get back up to the showstopper, close to the lockdown. These massive offensive tools are back online almost for EG.
Yeah, single piece of util, just a haunt, not a boombot as well, but already it's been disrespected.
Look how both teams are trying to hold on to utility.
This really could just come down to the ultimates. They're going to let them rip. Yes, they are. Jorgamo, showstopper! Couldn't get around the corner in time. Still, there's the answer. Showstopper gets blinded. Dodge out of the way. Boombot, nade, follow it up. Why not? And Aspas still stands his ground. Enough damage dealt.
Incredible!
It's pure friendly fire, but to himself.
What an amazing play by Jorgamo. Just back-to-back rounds. A delight to watch from him. But the squeeze is on Loud here.
Yeah.
Sadak's come to try and plug the gap over by breakable door. Once he got a pit to work with, they need to stay more mobile than that. He can't afford to use it.
In this scenario, when you're essentially a player down in terms of that disadvantage, 2 years, just needed the information. That was the purpose of the ult. He knows that they're still here, sitting towards it. I do like the call though by EG to cut noise here, but it hasn't pulled players away. Instead, Loud still have chances to get back into this one. Close to the side. Les is playing inside the orb. They want to spam the corners. The angles! Les! No one's turning! No one's facing! And oh my goodness, it's whiffage all over the bloody place! EG. Seconds remaining, seconds to spare. Sadak, another chance for him. Snake bite, ricocheting around to the side. Damage not done. No vulnerability. Ethan is left towards it. It's a 1v1. Sadak, jump spot just narrowly there. No more util. Just has to force the fight, but it comes down to it. The aim duel, the gun play, and he did not expect that. Ethan brings them up to 5.
And holds strong. That's only Ethan's second kill of the map so far, but it means an entire round for EG. What an opening by Jorgamo there. The outplay is excellent, and he throws his own body on the line as well. But things got really sloppy over here. Problems in the EG communication for sure, because comms should have been turning around at that point, but also a little fortunate that they had less with a presumably scroll wheel jump.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, you see those in the bigger moments more often. And Les has still been having a phenomenal game.
Recovering it.
This is the issue though, EG getting up to bigger and bigger ultimates.
Yeah.
Using the showstopper to set them up in great position to win the prior rifle round, and now they're on an anti-eco. And it looks like they're headed to just completely rotate the map away. Loud stacking over towards the A side, and EG heading C. This one may end up being uneventful, but it's going to continue to apply pressure to Loud.
It's one of the things that makes EG such a dangerous team to play against. Now, it doesn't look like they're going for the orbs just yet. They want to try and claim the side. But the way they just get that war machine rolling, not just with the economy now, obviously the gun's in their hands, but I mean, most commonly you see it when they play Fracture, you know, 4 orbs to pick from, and they just start rotating, snowballing the ultimates, keeping them online. It can mean a bit of an uphill battle here for Loud. You just have no chances really into this one.
I suppose the only benefit being that Loud are probably not going to be baited into using any of their ults. And still being on the losing side of things. But that is a slim, thin silver lining. Loud need to be able to recover.
Yeah. Signs of life coming out. There's a nade over the top. Let that one fly. Loud looking to do some of that damage as well. But again, it's the rifles that are really doing the damage and the work. Can't withstand it. Onto the flank. Watchful eye of Ethan.
Prime Gaming flawless. It certainly feels like it. EG coming into the next with their lockdown too. So this is where Loud need to turn things around. They need a game plan against what EG have been up to. And I think Loud are struggling here a little, because when they throw all of their utility early towards A, suddenly they're vulnerable to EG just retaking that area later on. Loud need to post somebody up and be able to help them without using all of their utility in that area. We're going to see another clash again.
There's 4 players. EG have been doing a decent job as well. Waiting out, baiting the utility, siphoning it out of Loud, and then re-hitting a little bit later on. This time, though,
I like this.
It's not the game plan.
Look how quick Aspas has rotated away. He knows that this is not going to be a continued hit towards the A side of things. His nade is not in position to be able to deny this, but he's got it primed to stop the actual follow-up on the lockdown.
Lockdown is nice. Still sending that util there, though, with the snake bite vulnerability. A chance of breaking this one. The Cosmic Divide gives that extra level, an element of defense. Boostio just seeking to play in front of it. Gonna hit the spray down with it. Sadak still there, holding his ground with the 9-4. Scattered across, no sound cues, but still, it's EG reigning supreme.
Loud never have a chance to be able to get set up for any kind of play. There's no trap at the start of that. Sure, they take a bit of rubble control, but EG are instantly away from them. The pace that Boostio is calling out right now is way too much for Sadak to hold on and deal with. And there goes the final player. The final domino tumbles. EG in an amazing spot currently. This play from Boostio's so cool. And he's got his lockdown. He knows that the players are going to be pushed backwards. And when it's mirrored with the Cosmic Divide, there's that tiny little gap, and he just gets in front of it, reads the fact that Aspas is going to want to fill up the space, and punishes. Loud have not found opportunities for these big players like Aspas and Kawanzin, who we've seen running the map on defense side previously, to get active. When Loud was playing against Fnatic, Aspas and Kawanzin were holding hands, setting up high-low setups on B all the time, being active and mobile with their Season 8 combos. It felt like that duo was everywhere. And EG are too quick. They're moving around the map at such speed that the rotates can't hold on. The defensive setups are not fluid enough.
Seeing those adjustments here. This is the second time I'm being caught by Loud. For good reason. You can all see the scoreline. 7-2. And this is your map pick. If you are Loud, best of 5 still. We're out of the best of 3s now. It won't be the death blow. It won't be the end to your tournament, but it's a spot that nobody ever wants to be in.
Here's another rifle round coming up. Now, Loud have been putting an emphasis on taking rubble early on, but then they haven't quite been able to get the read of whether EG are looking to re-clear A or pivoting elsewhere. How quickly do Aspas and Kawanzin rotate off? Can they get the correct idea of what Boostio's calling?
This time, oh my goodness! What is that? Okay, satchel across. I mean, barely a pixel to react to all of that. But as the utils offloaded, I mean, again, first kill for EG. It's more than a driving seat. At this point, they own the bloody map.
Sarakri exploring, caught by Boostio as well. The IGL's having a very physical manifestation of the mental battle that Boostio's also winning.
Spot the player out. I mean, do you still want to go for this one? Just farming up the orbs. Ethan, Seekers are online. They're going to point them exactly to where the target's chance for less, but just a chance. He's traded. Could have potentially got 2. Still moving to the opposite direction now, away from the Seekers. They have free access, and with the plant down now onto B. No control over towards Heaven.
Com is deep, though.
Yeah.
Com's holding a line here, so it's, you know, they do have some soft control towards Heaven.
And Loud just feel like they can't go for this, I think. Maybe if there's a kill afforded to them, offered to him, but they invested everything. Aspas has got a Guardian, having to save a Guardian. Do they want to go for this? It looks like it. Maybe if they can find a pick. Double face. Now towards the connector, but so much to deal with. Boostio tucked inside the smoke. Flash play, pushing forwards on top of it. Aspas, not enough.
Caught up, snarled up, looking for a retreat that is not there. No mercy, no quarter. EG up 8-2. How does this kill even happen?
Oh my.
I mean, the reactions there are unbelievable.
Yeah, Ethan's flashes setting up most of this. Disgusting. And yeah, painstaking on Frod's face here. Barriers going down. It has not been working out for Loud here. EG, water control. Here's a trap play. Look at that. Pull through the choke point. Satchels with the flashes all set up. We're less. Just got a backpedal. He has to give up this space. The flank attempt though from Loud now. They're going to be moving together as a group of 3. That could be the difference maker here if they're able to find the timing well enough.
It's so fast from EG. It's such a departure from what they did on their attack side of Ascent. Demon 1's ready to collect.
Open angle. A player's back's going to be towards them. They cannot hold against it. EG. Lockdown to the side here. Will the nade clean it up? It does indeed. Yeah. It breaks it all.
It's all over. It's all desperation on the side of Loud. EG completely in control. I'm thinking back, Bren, to that interview that Frod gave after the first map. And he said we were caught off, actually, by how slow EG were on their attack side. They definitely brought a lot more patience to it. And then Boostio's just turned up the tempo heading into Lotus.
Yeah.
Loud came in here to the second map thinking, all right, guys, we need to slow down. We need to save utility. We need to hard anchor. We can't afford to be playing retake everywhere. And instead, EG are just hitting them over and over again with these fast haymakers.
Yeah. It's unusual for how the map is typically played as well. Think about Lotus, I mean, it's a big map, right? The attack side typically going to be taking areas of it just in waves, emanating, using their util. Lucio can barely believe it himself, but yeah, one more round in this half will set them up beautifully.
And all of these rounds will be giving them more and more confidence. They're a very confidence-based team. Aspas forced to go without armor in this round. Wherever EG go, they've just had it for free.
It's damage done to less. The extra money in the bank as well. You can buy operators who can afford it.
And look,
as well.
It's like flowchart Valorant calling from Boostio. Jogamo goes C, gets an orb. Now he's going to go B, get another orb. They get ready to showstopper into B. This Viper's Pit completely useless because Jorgamo's looking to try and commit to B with his ult.
And here it is, showstopper online, close to the corner. Oh, what is this movement, Kamazine? No way! Not a chance in hell, but still the bullets, they are raining through, fired through. It's enough at the end of the day. Less. The shorty pallets going wide sight. There's going to be gain, slowed down for about a moment here for EG, and they're just holding their ground. They know the Loud feel like they have to repeat into this. They know that they have to take the fights, and 2 years wanting to do the most. But look at this, right behind him, there is nowhere to run.
Les with it all to do again. This map must have been painful from his perspective. He's had some unreal performances at Champs across all of the tournaments he's ever played, to be honest. But when you're left repeatedly in 1v3s, 1v4s, it's just not doable.
It's just not doable, and even if you do, I mean, it's the third round online. First one, though, has to win the fight against Corman. Well, shot at the dart with a spray through into the wall. 10-2 is the half we're looking at. This is Loud's map pick in our lower bracket finals.
And this is so different. EG in the past have beaten Loud on Split and Ascent, and then Fracture too. But they haven't come at them on Lotus. They haven't come at them on a map where they've beaten Fnatic like this. 10-2 is dominant.
Systematic dismantling right now. Let's send it down. We have an interview with a special guest.
Thank you very much, guys. I am now joined by Coriano, one of the Loud's streamers. Now, first of all, I wanted to ask you how you're doing. It must be a little bit stressful right now to watch party this and see your team on stage.
I'm sweating so much. I'm so stressed out, but I think we can do better, and I think we can recover on this match.
I wanted to ask you, what have you thought about their run this year? Because I don't think many people expected them to make it this far in this tournament. So talk me through that.
We are doing so similar than we did last year, and I think the core like Aspas, Les, and Sadak are really great, and I hope we can go to the finals this champion.
Oh, I think everybody wants to see that. Talking about everybody, what about the Brazilian fans? How much do you think this means to them to be able to see their team in another grand final at Champions?
We love to cheer for Brazil, and having Loud here is so awesome. Doing this core string here is awesome, so thank you guys, thank you Brazilians, you are awesome.
Thank you. Of course, everyone here in the Kia Forum that's supporting Loud, thank you very much. I also wanted to ask you very quickly though, EG, they're looking pretty good. What do you think about this team, and what do you think Loud need to do to be able to beat them?
EG is a really strong team. I think Demon One is an awesome duelist, and I think Loud have to, play together, win clutches. We're not hitting our shots, so we need to recover and do better.
And lastly, is there anything that you'd like to say, maybe in Portuguese, to send the players some energy and the fans at home as well?
Go Loud and vamos.
Vamos, vamos, vamos. I'm going to send this back to you guys and see if Loud can make a comeback in the second half.
There's a chance of it. A lot of experience going to be gained on either side of these teams as well. They've been in these situations, maps just being blowouts. It's about how you rally back after it. But hard pressed on Lotus are Loud, so.
It's such a bizarre map for Loud. It really is. Having been able to beat Fnatic twice on this, one other win against DRX, and then they've lost the other 3 times that they've played Lotus over the course of their history together. It's been a bizarre map to follow from Loud's point of view, and this one, they've just been destroyed. They need pistol bonus minimum to even get into a position where we would think this was winnable.
This looks like something created by EG here. Yep, waiting for the presence. Here it is. Flash play out of the side. Kawazine way too far forward. Nate missing still with the frenzy. Shots are fired out on even sides. It's brought it to 3v3, but damage definitely done to these Loud players. Sadak. Oh, just missing it. Boostio tucked.
And only less than 2 E's, with 70 health between them. EG once more grasping hold of the tempo on the pistol round. Right? It's them that's initiating the play. And Loud forced to react, always forced to respond and react because EG are playing quickly and putting the pressure on Loud. Comms holding this line. He's going to take contact first against less than 2 E's.
Why is it so weak?
Ooh. A smidge of extra damage done to less.
30 seconds.
30 seconds left.
Com repositioning now up towards the higher ground. Doesn't want to let anything slip away. A lot of uncertainty. Thinks they could have walked up towards stairs.
Instead, Loud are looking to flank again. They can get a plant down here, and Les is in a spot where he needs to make magic happen.
Got to make a play. Com's close though as well. Good shot down, TP up top. Does Com realize it? Yes, he does. Tears was laying down the smoke as well. Couldn't see a thing. Less from the side. Doesn't clear the corner! And he wades right into him. Boostio's wondering where the hell was he? Look at his cam.
Les just caught a timing there, slipping into stairs right behind the player that was rotating over. And EG are playing with them. Savor the moment. They're a team powered by having fun in these kind of situations, not taking things too seriously. They find themselves up 11-2.
It's got to be good.
Dominant.
I love this opening as well. I mean, we talk about Loud and the amount of preparation they put into these pistol round plays as well, but EG, they're another team that love to do it. You can see it, the idea there. 3 players stacked up, waiting for signs of life, with the flash play popped up, the nade, Cowsing too far, pushed forwards. And yeah, Boostio. Left wondering what the hell happened there. Well, it's a pistol round win. Loud forced to make a difficult decision with the economy.
Com can hear all of this happening over towards Mound. And I'm sure the EG players will be suspicious of a force buy. Com really wants to play inside that Viper orb, but there's just so much spam going into it at the moment.
Trailblazer lay it down ahead of time here. Trailblazer, yeah, it does push back less. Got to respect this. The whole goal of all of this posturing by Loud has been to remove the front section of C in case there was Killjoy utility there. Now we know that there's not. Boostio shifted his setup, and now they might just be walking right into this. Aspas has got a satchel. He's got to cross this angle. How does Com play this? There it is. Satchel breaks it apart. He's maybe caught the timing inside the orb. Where's the damage being done? So damn low, no kill still. Bringing him down. Eventually there with the trade. Turret in your face here, Aspas. The nade flying. Put your plant online. Might have to give up your life for it. 2 years.
He gets out.
Brought down to half. EG are so fast into this, they've already taken up space towards the back of the site. Head poking over the top there. Less just spotting them as they're moving in. Bullets really running out here still. EG looking like they should be in control. As I say that, still it comes down to these kills. Round to the back. 1v1. Damage done. Enough. Softened up for Aspas with the judge.
So the force buy gets Loud into a position where they can finally win a round. But the gap just looks simply too large. 8 rounds ahead, EG.
Yeah, never seen a comeback from this scoreline before.
Not for Loud. 2E's doing a great job there, picking up 3 kills, making it winnable for Aspas, who has comms judged towards the end.
So knife's edge is what some of these rounds are coming down to, but still EG with a sizable lead. The orb dropped down, tucked to the corner here. Shots, Boostio, normally so good for it, reload at this time, at this place, going for it, but no. Can't get the extra bullets to try and do some significant damage. Com is a sole survivor.
With only a frenzy, this looks like Loud getting up to 4. Com, he can find himself tuck himself into an interesting position. Might make this one. Just spotted out by Tui's. I mean, at this point, do you even want to commit into A?
Yeah.
You got your pick of where they want to go.
The direction.
It's going to be a B pivot here.
Find you.
Con will just be forced as well to take an impromptu timeout. Probably economical damage. And go down to the spike as well.
Yeah, I think this gives us a decent opportunity as well to talk about the map pool just a little. Because while this looks like a slam dunk for EG to close out, the later we get into the pool, the worse the maps get for EG, in my opinion. The ones that you can't see up in the top left, you got Split and Bind.
Yeah.
Both maps where I think Loud are extremely comfortable and have been looking good recently. So when I was looking at this map V2, I was thinking EG's best chance might be to close this out 3-0. At the moment, they're in a great spot to do so, right?
There's no way. There's just no way.
However,
checking. 2 years will not be able to take
drawn
that
Tui's back.
Yeah. So taking away the gun.
That's a decent idea there for Com towards the end to make something out of it. But yeah, it's not disastrous for Loud, even if they end up falling here. The chances of them being able to pull off a reverse sweep in a BO5 like this are actually a little higher than you might think, especially when you consider how some of these matches have gone before. I mean, you dial back to the first time that these two teams faced off against each other. It's week 4 of Americas this season. EG come out with a 13-3 first map, rocking Loud, bash back onto their heels, who then 13-0 them.
Where are you?
So both of these teams very comfortable with turning the ship around. Loud have taken very fast C control in this one.
Bring them down.
And nothing to stop them from committing over towards the C site other than Ethan Com.
I mean, this is where you would see Boostio calling for Aspas to go and work an orb and then using the showstopper to get in. And instead of being prioritizing the ultimates here to make space, Aspas was looking for a timing instead. Now dropping back. I mean, 4 players set up here over towards C.
It's pulled a lot of the EG players over. Maybe anticipating and expecting it. So
the flash was nice though from Ethan. It didn't hear anything, so now they're rotating off.
Right.
They're finding the read.
Boostio. Prime rat gameplay, but this time sniffed him out.
And the spike is headed back towards the weak side. Everybody rotated based on that flash from Ethan, and now it's only Com home. Aspas still has not picked up an ult orb. They're just going for this.
The reveal. Prowler as well. Bullets slamming into the choke point, but you got to respect it and back away here. 18 seconds left. Got to get a move on here if you are Loud. It's probably not going to be the most ideal plan in the world. A tap to force out this util, but again, time is of the essence. You got 12 seconds left. You haven't pulled this util out. It hasn't been siphoned out. Prior, Sancho's over the top EG! They've dismantled them! Absolutely and thoroughly. No time left. And just like that, it's a round win. Everybody falls, but EG, you know they're going to be happy with it.
What a situation. And you see the deep sigh there from Sadak. How did that one go wrong? They had the site. They were getting set up for the plant.
10 seconds left.
And it just all got denied. The blast pack as well from Jorgamo is excellent,
it's
even
all
after the fact. I mean, Jorgamo even being there in time.
On the precipice now.
EG, actually, even having won that round, are still going to have to take an eco here. Their economy's not in a good spot, and they'd just rather play it safely.
This is disrespectful. Look at this from Les. You don't see this from Killjoy players on this map. Normally, they're locked down, tethered to the util. He is in such a forward position. Com with the movement. Not enough to survive. Demon 1. Okay. A weapon delivery straight away. Here's a Sancho showstopper. What a fundamental. No way! No Jorgamo. He's broke his ankles. He's done him dirty. And just like this, it's crumbling. It's falling. Kawazine. Got to get some stability into the mix here. Cosmic Divide cuts his way through as well. The choke point angle. Not watch for.
Nice flash.
Lovely flash. Nade on top. Sada can't swing. Can't play towards this one. Ethan sticking to defuse. Vulnerable up. Half on the defuse already smoked off. Gotta push forwards. It's covered. Once more. Util there. Fights. They need to be one. The Util's not connecting. And it's a full stick to win.
Evil geniuses closing things out on Lotus. Delivering the second blow to Loud. 13-4 is way more dominant than I was expecting. EG said that they've done a ton of work on this map. Used to be towards the bottom of their map pool, but they're feeling very confident on it now. And it ends with the MasterCard Thrifty. What is this?
Look at this.
Just ridiculous from the two Raze players. Both playing that situation beautifully, but Jorgamo out on top.
Nasty, nasty stuff. Still more series, of course, and the map left to be played. It's a best of 5. Remember it here in our lower bracket finals. Do not go anywhere.
VALORANT 冬の陣千秋楽誇りをかけた戦いを
What a clutch from Celsius!
その目で見届けろ 世界との取り組み幕開く両国国技館にて開催
Little moments of joy are not so little. They are pure joy. Therefore, treat yourself. Come to Andalusia.
Red Bull gives you wings.